Good morning, guys. Let's do some biblical reading. We took a little bit of a break because I was traveling and I've just been like hanging out with family, but let's keep reading. We did Genesis 40 last time. David was interpreting some dreams. He was in prison because of the false allegations of that wife of somebody. But he's still in prison. They forgot him, so we are doing Genesis 41 now. Exalted by Pharaoh. I guess things take a turn. Now at the end of 2 whole years Pharaoh was dreaming. Behold, there he was standing by the Nile. Then behold, there were 7 cows, good looking and beefy, and they grazed in the reeds. Then behold, there were 7 other cows coming up after them from the Nile, ugly and emaciated. And they stood beside the cows at the edge of the Nile. And the ugly emaciated cows ate the 7 good looking beefy cows, and Pharaoh woke up. Then he slept and dreamed a second time. Behold, there were 7 ears of corn coming up on one stalk, plump and good. Then behold, there were 7 ears of corn, thin and scorched by the east wind, sprouting up after them. Then the 7 thin ears of corn swallowed up the 7 plump and full ears of corn. Then Pharaoh woke up. It was a dream. So, dreams like this would have meant so much more for people living back then, because they would have like daily experiences with these things, right? Sorry, it's a little bit windy. Like, we're talking about like emaciated cows and corn, stuff like that. But it's obviously that something is being consumed. Something that you would want, something that maybe you have, it's being consumed, right? Like, that's the dream. But in the morning he was disturbed in his spirit, so he sent and called for the fortune-telling priests of Egypt and all its wise men, and Pharaoh told them his dream, but no one could interpret them for Pharaoh. Then the chief of the cupbearers spoke with Pharaoh, saying, I am reminded of my sins today. Pharaoh had been angry with his servants and put me in the custody of the house of the commander of the bodyguards, me and the chief of the bakers. Then we each dreamed a dream on the same night, he and I. We both dreamed, yet each dream had its own interpretation. So this is when he remembers David. Now there with us was a Hebrew youth, a slave belonging to the commander of the bodyguards. When we told him, he interpreted our dreams for us, each man's dreams he interpreted. Then it came about just as he had interpreted for us, so it happened. Me he restored to my position, but him he hung. Then Pharaoh sent and called for Joseph. So they quickly fetched him from the pit. He shaved, changed his clothes, and came to Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, I dreamed a dream and there's no one to interpret it. I heard about you. It said that you can listen to a dream to interpret it. Then Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, it's not within me. God will answer with shalom for Pharaoh. That's interesting. With shalom, with peace. So I guess he's gonna interpret the dream in a kind of desirable way, right? So Pharaoh said to Joseph, in my dream, there I was standing by the bank of the Nile. Like, why does he just assume that? I guess this is Joseph's experience with God, that he's like the God of peace. So he just assumes that it's gonna be a good news type deal, right? And to my surprise, out of the Nile 7 cows were coming up, beefy and good looking, and they grazed in the reeds. Then all of a sudden there were 7 other cows coming up after them, feeble, very ugly and emaciated. I've never seen the likes of these in the whole land of Egypt for ugliness. Then the emaciated and ugly cows ate the first 7 beefy cows. When they were devoured, one couldn't tell that they had been devoured. Their appearance was as ugly as it was at first. Then I woke up. Oh, so they were like wasted. The good cows were wasted on the ugly cows. Then I saw in my dream there were 7 ears of corn coming up on one stalk, plump and good. Then suddenly there were 7 ears of corn, dried up, thin and scorched by the east wind, sprouting up after them. Then the thin ears of corn swallowed up the 7 good ears of corn. So I told the fortune-telling priests, but no one could provide me with an explanation. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, Pharaoh's dream is one. God has told Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows, they are 7 years. Also the 7 ears of corn, they are 7 years. It's one dream. The 7 emaciated and ugly cows coming up after them, there are 7 years. Also the 7 empty ears of corn scorched by the east wind, there will be 7 years of famine. It is the word that I have already said to Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he has shown to Pharaoh. Really? So it's like a warning? Is he gonna store up like food in the warehouses. 7 years of abundance are about to come in the whole land of Egypt. Then 7 years of famine will come up after them, and all the abundance in the land of Egypt will be forgotten, and the famine will consume the land. So the abundance in the land will be unknown because of the famine that follows, for it will be a very oppressive famine. Now, as for repeating Pharaoh's dream twice, it's because the matter has been settled by God, and God will quickly make it happen. So now let Pharaoh select a man discerning and wise, and set him in authority over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh act by appointing administrators over the land, and take a fifth portion from the land of Egypt during the 7 years of abundance. Then let them gather all the food from these good years that are coming, and let them store up grain under Pharaoh's hand as food for the cities, so they may preserve it. I mean, that's really good advice. Even if there would be no famine, I mean, obviously there's probably gonna be, right? There's gonna be a famine. But even if there wasn't, like, what's the punishment gonna be? Like, you made me store my food? It's obviously more if God is the one. The Spirit of God in Joseph is interpreting this. Let the food be held in reserve for the land for the 7 years of famine that is coming upon the land of Egypt. Then the land will not be annihilated by the famine. Joseph is the right man for the job. Like, that's why I believe in this. That's why he has like the courage and boldness to do these kinds of interpretations. That's how it makes sense to me. Like, he has the faith required. None of the, soothsayers and magic people in Pharaoh's kingdom had the faith, the trust in anything to say these things. Joseph is the one who has, and it's in God. That's why he can say these things. Like, I'm thinking about how could somebody have this kind of like courage to do these predictions? How are they not wrecked with self-doubt and things like that? Well, Joseph is the right man for the job. God chooses people to fulfill a purpose. Many of them even. That's how it makes sense to me. Let the food be held in reserve for the land for the 7 years of famine that is coming upon the land of Egypt. Then the land will not be annihilated by the famine. Now the plan seemed good. Something is like hurting my lip. I think I got stung by an insect. Now the plan seemed good in the eyes of Pharaoh as well as all his servants. Then Pharaoh said to his servant, "Can a man like this be found, one in whom is God's Spirit?" Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one as discerning and wise as you. You will be over my house, and all my people will pay homage to you. Only in relation to the throne will I be greater than you." Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "See, I appoint you over the whole land of Egypt." Then Pharaoh removed his signet ring from his hand and put it on Joseph's hand, clothed him with fine linen garments, and put a chain of gold around his neck. Yeah, so God arranged this. This seems like made up, right? Like, why would the Pharaoh all of a sudden trust everything to this man who he picked from his jail, right? Prison. It's because the spiritual experiences, the visions, probably the angels that God sent to do these works. It doesn't say any of that, but obviously that's what's happening here. He's convinced. Then he had him ride in the chariot as second in command, the one that belongs to him, and they called out before him, "Kneel down." So he appointed him over the whole land of Egypt. Pharaoh also said to Joseph, "I am Pharaoh, yet without your permission no one will lift up his hand or his foot in the whole land of Egypt." Then Pharaoh named Joseph Zaphenath-Paneah and gave him Asenath, daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, as his wife. Then Joseph went out in charge of the land of Egypt. Now Joseph was 30 years old when he began serving as a representative of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Joseph went out from Pharaoh's presence and passed through the whole land of Egypt. This is also obviously about the vision that Joseph's father, is it Isaac or Jacob? Jacob, I think. Isaac is Jacob's father. They had the dream that Joseph was gonna be greater than all of them, right? That's why the brothers had a problem with him, right? They put him in the well and sold him as slave. That's at least one of the reasons. Okay, during the 7 years of abundance, the land produced in heaps. I just like to go over these things, remember, keep your mind sharp. So he gathered all the food in the land of Egypt during the 7 years and put food in the cities. The food from the city fields surrounding the cities he put in each city. So Joseph stored up grain like the sand of the sea, vast amounts, until he stopped keeping record because it was beyond counting. 2 sons also had been born to Joseph before the year of famine came, born to him by Asenath, daughter of Potipherah, priest of On. I wonder what that false god is, On. I've never heard of it. Joseph named his firstborn Manasseh because God has caused me to forget all my trouble and all my father's house. And the second he named Ephraim because God has made me fruitful in the land of my oppression. Then the 7 years of abundance in the land of Egypt came to an end, and the 7 years of famine started to come, just as Joseph had said. So there was famine in all the lands, but in the whole land of Egypt there was bread. When the whole land of Egypt suffered famine, the people cried out to Pharaoh for food, and Pharaoh said to all of Egypt, "Go to Joseph, do whatever he tells you." The famine was over all the entire land, so Joseph opened up all that was among them and sold grain to Egypt. Then the famine became severe in the land of Egypt. But the whole world came to Egypt to buy grain to Joseph, because the famine was severe in the whole world. Yeah. This made me think of the virgins with the lamp oil, you know. Some people are prepared, some others, in the last days, right? But there wasn't enough lamp oil for the ones who weren't prepared. So in that sense, there was like this, there was also like kind of famine in that parable that Christ told. But there was not enough to go around for others, like in this story. It's obviously about advocating for you to be like Joseph here, you know. When the visions come from God, you should believe. Yeah, that was Genesis 41. Cool. Let's keep reading.